Streaming to you live from an undisclosed location deep within the bowels of the Rose City, it's Live in Portland with Chris Franklin! This week, welcome comedy by Seth Johnston, Jasmine Pettit of Telltale, introducing Truth or Fire by Haley Lynn, photographer Marcella Pulido, and music by Salvatore Manalo, with our in-house band Shy Sean and Sexy Marvin. Now here's your host. His IMDb page rivals Lon Chaney Jr.'s. He's the silver bullet to your Monday evening doldrums. His spidey sense tingles whenever you show him your full moon. Wealth and fame he's ignored, showcasing PDX awesome is his reward. He swings more than a thread. Just take a look overhead. It's Chris Franklin!
Oh, yeah! Thank you so much, Josh. Thank you, audience. This is Live in Portland. I want to give a round of applause to my home audience here in the studio. My audience at home on YouTube and Facebook, this is Live in Portland, where we showcase Portland's creative artists. And tonight's super special because I just feel revived. I feel revamped. And I think about those times in life that is so necessary, you know, to bring more energy into something you've been doing over and over again. This is episode 34 of Live in Portland. We've been showcasing so many amazing artists, hundreds of guests throughout this past year, and it's been such an honor to share this stage with so many amazing people. So tonight we have an incredible showcase, and we are premiering a new segment to our show called Truth or Fire with our guest, Haley Lynn. And I'm super excited to get it all started out. So with no further ado, I'm going to take it over to Marvin. Marvin, take it away.
America's four favorite pastimes: basketball, video games, comedic commentary, and weed together. An open public tournament. Please welcome Seth Johnston!
Yes, thank you. Hello. Bam. Boom. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Purple Monster, Green Guy. I don't know. It's good to be here. I have a dream where I kind of get killed by creatures that look kind of like this, so this is good for me. Really facing some fears here. How's it going, everybody? Thank you. Good? Good. I'm feeling good. I just did one of those genetic ancestry tests. Has anyone in here done one of those? You know what I'm talking about? You have? Nice. Like, it's pretty cool. Like, the science of it is pretty cool. Like, they give you this little tube to spit in. They send it back to the lab. They go through a full database, like all the latest genetic research. I paid $99 for a PDF that says I'm white. That's another way of describing it. And I didn't want to do it at first. Like, my wife pressured me into it because she did it, and her results were super interesting. But we're totally different kinds of people. Like, she's a black American. There's a lot she doesn't know. There's a lot of like rumors in her families and legends and all this stuff. I said, I don't really have any of that. And she goes, oh, no. You've got to take this because you never know. Even you might not be all the way white. That should be the slogan, I think. Like, in the commercials, help their business out. So I took the test. I got the results, confirmed that I'm all the way white. And then the surprise number one came. It said that I'm in the 99th percentile in how much Neanderthal DNA I have. This guy's into it. Like, I've never been in the 99th percentile at anything. So it turns out just the one thing I'm exceptional at is just being the most caveman. That's it. And then surprise number two came. It said that I'm inbred. Yes. Did not know that was on the table. Yeah, they do not warn you about that one. I mean, it looked cool. Like, the science, again, was cool. Like, they gave you these two dots on a world map, like one for your maternal line, one for your paternal line. They trace each one back thousands of years. And most people, they look at their map, and their dots are really far apart, and you're blown away by the diversity of your own human story, but my two dots were just right on top of each other. It's like up in Scotland. It's probably the same house. Where my inbred ancestors were like the shameful family secret. You know, they kept them down in the basement. They were down there with no teeth, just humping away, sucking on each other's webbed toes. You know, this was gross. Yeah, imagine how it feels to be me. This was terrible news, but now I know why my ankle clicks when I walk. There you go. Mystery solved. I told one of my younger single friends that my wife and I have been together for 10 years now, and he was just like, oh, gross, God, gross. Blah. Oh, how do you even have sex with each other after 10 years? And I was like, well, 10 years in, our sex life is like reading a really good book. You know, we only do it when the Wi-Fi goes down. That's it. That's how it works, too. Like, we'll just be watching a movie or something, and then like the Netflix buffering comes on, you know, the little spinny thing. The whole mood changes now. It's like erotic. It's like a signal, you know. It's like, ooh, little spinny thing. You like that? And she looks over at me and asks me that sexy, long-term relationship foreplay question. When's the last time you took a shower? And I say, earlier today. No matter what, I say earlier today. So, not new to this. But that's just us. That's not like everybody. I was trying to tell my friend, that's just us. It's not everybody. We've hit this like plateau because, I mean, at this point, like neither one of us is a big enough freak really to like, you need at least one freak in every relationship. That's who brings in the new outside ideas, gives you the right encouragement. You need like a Steve Jobs, but for holes. That's what you need, right? We don't have that. I thought I was a freak for a little while in my life until I met one, of course. That's when that happens. I was 19. My girlfriend, she's like, I am such a freak. And I was like, really? She goes, yeah, are you a freak? And I was like, hell yeah, girl, I'm a freak. I'm a freak-a-leak. I was a big P.D. Pablo fan. It's kind of just an extra detail. And I said, what is the number one fantasy you want to do? What is the number one freakiest thing, the number one fantasy? Let's do it. Like, I'm not into this puritanical whatever. Not for me. We're just people. Number one fantasy, go. And she goes, I'd like to watch a group of men run a train on you. And I said, oh. Do you have a number two fantasy? I'd be into that. My wife is also, she's another thing we got going for us. She's 9 years older than I am. It's technically 9 years and 13 months, but we round down. We round down because people make a big deal about that one. And it's always like, so what? You know, it works for us. I need to be with a more mature person, and she needs help with her computer. So there you go. It works out. Perfect relationship. She's gotten really into puzzles lately, jigsaw puzzles. It's not a joke. It's just something she's into. And it comes out like just having the marriage, the jigsaw puzzles, things happen. I was out, she was home, and she sent me a text message that said, hey, I just got this new puzzle. I'm really excited, but I have to run out. Can you do me a favor? When you get home, can you turn all the puzzle pieces face up on the table for me? And then she included a picture of the puzzle just poured out all over the table, like in case I didn't understand like what she meant by the first part, I guess. And I could not wait to get home and turn all those puzzle pieces face down, you know? And that's what I did. I like burst through the door. I turned all the puzzle pieces face down. I felt so free, so proud. I felt like a man. I felt like a real man. And I just stepped back and I just admired it, just 1,000 face down puzzle pieces. And I was like, all right, shit, I better turn these back over. So, all right, that's it for me. Thanks, everybody. Chris.
Yes. Seth, I'm going to keep you on stage. Seth, that was great. I love the P.D. Pablo reference.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, big fan.
Big fan.
Yeah, everybody
Come back,
take
Petey.
your shirt off.
Yeah.
Spin around your head like a helicopter. Yes. Seth, where can my audience find you? Oh, let's talk about your radio show first of all.
Okay, yeah.
The podcast.
Yeah, Portland Trailblazers podcast. I'm obsessed with it. So is another comedian in town, Brandon Lyons. We have a podcast called We Already Had Clyde. Basically two jaded. Yeah, it's a great title. Blazers fans know it. It's just a bunch of kind of jaded Blazers fans. Just talking. Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's being explained out in the audience. It's a good title.
And once again, where can they find that?
It's on iTunes or wherever you get podcasts. Yeah, you can get it on there.
Also, let's talk about your Twitter.
Twitter is Sethball, SETHBAWL, because I cry sometimes, I guess. But yeah, it's all just basketball and leftist politics. So it's not for very many people. But if you like those two things, you will love my Twitter account.
All right, everybody, put your hands together for Seth Johnston, everybody. Thank you.
Next up, forget the moth, forget mortified. When it's time to get vulnerable and take no shit, it's time to welcome the curator of Telltale, Jasmine Pettit.
Jasmine.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
This must be a first for you because you're usually the curator and host of Telltale. Now you're a guest.
Different.
Yeah. Tell me about the origins of Telltale. It's been going on for over a year now.
About a year and a half, yeah. I mean, the main thing was that I used to write when I was much younger. I continued writing but didn't show anybody it for a very long time. And then the election happened, and then I was just very sad and very mad about lots of things all the time.
Yeah.
And I needed one thing that I could put energy into that felt good instead. And so I decided that this would be my one thing, my one good thing.
Yeah.
So I started the night, and I've been trying to get folks out to it ever since.
Yeah, and so it happens once a month, and
It
it's community curated storytelling. And that storytelling could go in many different ways, as you've seen throughout the years. Either they're telling a story directly, or it's musical. Tell me a bit about some of the highlights, some of the stories that have stood out to you.
Yeah, I really want it to be a really community-focused thing, and I want it to be whatever storytelling means to you, which sometimes means people are reading off a piece of paper. Sometimes people are just telling a story kind of off the top of their head. Sometimes it's music, sometimes it's comedy. We've had people dance, that kind of thing, whatever that means. And my favorite thing about it is that it's a really half and half mix between people who know what they're doing, established comedians who have actual bits and they're ready to go, and then folks who have never spoken into a mic before ever and who are shaking and maybe crying, and it's a very emotional poignant moment for them. And there's a good balance of those two things.
Yeah, and I'd imagine there are a lot of emotions poured out on stage.
Yeah, we definitely have There are happier sets and much more heavy, a lot of gravity to the sets depending on the day.
Yeah, and so you've got a show coming out on Thursday, October 25th.
I do.
Yeah, what location is that?
It's Chapel Theater in Milwaukee, which is 4107 Southeast Harrison.
And this particular topic, it's pretty poignant into our current situation nationally with the Supreme Court justice. But the theme of the show is I don't remember.
Yeah, which I picked before that.
Yeah.
Before the Supreme Court stuff happened, and then realized that I had really picked something that had a little bit more meaning or weight to it behind it than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
But I think, depending on who I say that theme to, some people think I just actually don't remember the theme.
Yeah.
And
That's good.
that I'm trying to think of something. But the theme is I don't remember. And some people think that we're just going to end up with a bunch of stories about blackout drunks.
Yeah.
Which is totally possible. I don't know. That's the other thing is that I don't know what the stories are going to be about in advance.
Yeah.
I don't ask to see them or what they are about at all. So I'm equally surprised. I just know the title and whether it's going to be happy or sad on a scale of 1 to 10.
And that's pretty incredible because you do it in front of a live audience, and there's got to be a lot of just kind of chaos happening on stage, and then you come in. Tell me about your role as the moderator and curator of this this storytelling series.
So the whole thing is me as far as the stage portion. I have some people that come and do pictures for me or run the door, that kind of thing. But it's mostly me doing it. I also curated as far as going out and finding people. So it's a lot of inviting anybody I meet ever.
Yeah.
I recently invited a girl at a taqueria that was saying some interesting things at a couple like tables down, and I was like, oh, maybe she would like to tell a story. That's a really weird thing to just walk up to a girl and be like, I am totally eavesdropping on you. Would you like to come to my thing? But that is what I did, and I wrote the Facebook page for it on a piece of my like chip wrapper from my food, and she didn't contact me. But I do try and just ask anybody that I ever meet in any possible situation. I almost asked somebody who rear-ended me if she would perform, because I was like, oh, that would be like a good way to balance out, like, you know, it's one less person I have to find.
Totally. Right?
I still have her number. I might contact her. But then I also perform at the end of the shows.
Awesome. So you create a story for
I do.
every single one. Does it tend to stick to the same type, or are you usually reading off paper? Is it a comedic act?
I have always written mostly like sad, mopey things, because I'm sort of a sad, mopey person, but I've tried very hard to balance it out a little bit and have it not always be sad and mopey, and to have some more like comedic elements to it.
Yeah. I think what engages me the most is that emotional release.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have these stories in our head that we remember, but we don't really get the full emotion until we actually present the story. So I commend you for building such a format for people to, you know, witness that and be a part of it. Live in Portland is much about the community and making less strangers, and I think you are doing exactly that with your storytelling series.
I always try really hard to, like, I really like staying home. I don't really like leaving my house very much, and I feel like my story night also appeals to other people who have that feeling. But I try really hard to remind folks that connection is one of like the easiest ways to heal from trauma, and I think we are living in traumatic times.
Yeah.
The community is one of the only things that help with that. So I try really hard to convince people that during the intermission, during the show, like, 12 to 15 minutes, that they talk to strangers.
Yeah.
And it's been really great because people that have not previously known each other have gone to like open mic nights together, have started carpooling together, and have started forming connections. And it's only during the intermission, like it's 12 minutes, you can handle it, and then I will call everybody back, and then so they're not going to be stuck in like a weird, awkward conversation for too long.
Yeah. So it turns into a bit of a mixer. You get to meet the people who go on stage and people who are just in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a beautiful thing. And once again, I thank you for sharing it. So for the people who are watching here in our live audience and at home, how can they reach out and tell their story and get involved in your storytelling process?
I am on Instagram at Tell Your Tale, and also on Facebook at Telltale PDX. And either of those are ways to reach out, and I'm always looking for more people that want to either perform or hang out in the audience. It's also just a really cool venue that has lots of other shows and plays and art displays and that kind of thing throughout the rest of the season, other than just my night, just to to talk about them a little bit too. And there's a really great pizza restaurant in the basement of it, so if nothing else, you get to come and like eat pizza and drink beer and watch entertainment. The show is $5 to get in, and if you don't have money, that's fine. I just want you in the door. I prefer that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Once again, that's this Thursday, October 25th.
Mere days away.
Yeah.
I'm going to write something between now and then.
Awesome. Jasmine, I want to thank you so much
I also
for
brought you
coming out.
koozies.
Oh, and I got fuck yes. Fuck yes. Telltale koozies. Jasmine, thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you.
Marvin, take it away.
And now, introducing a new segment where the deceptively sweet Haley Lynn wags your tongue by truth or fire!
Why, hello there, everybody. My name's Haley Lynn, and today, Lost in Portland is presenting its first game segment, Truth or Fire. Now, we all know how the game Truth or Dare goes, but we got a spicy little twist that's going to happen. So we're going to ask you, well, I'm going to ask you a series of questions to a contestant we're going to pick out from the audience. I like your shirt. Let's have you come up here. Yeah. All right, now that we have our contestant, I'm going to ask her a series of questions. And for every question that she does not answer, she is going to have a taste of one of our wings. And this is presented by Fire on the Mountain. Thank you so much. El Jefe. That's the hottest hot wings at Fire on the Mountain. So, and for every question that you are unable to answer, you will eat a hot wing, and I will join you in solidarity.
Nice.
All right. So, let's get to the questions. Okay, question number 1. What is your most embarrassing secret?
Wow. I'll go. I'll go with the fire.
Okay, let's do it. All right.
I'm a little hungry too.
Here you go. All right. Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun. Okay.
Can I?
Oh, yeah, that's there for you. All right. Cheers.
Chin chin in Italian. It's hot, but it's good.
The seasoning is fantastic. All right. Question number 2. Wait, do we have to finish these? Yeah, we do. I guess we do, yeah.
It's good. We don't have water either. Ooh, all right, thank you. Nice.
That's a lot of chicken. All right. Question number 2. How many partners have you had that you've not told your parents about?
Ooh. Many, I lost count, honestly.
All right.
I'm married now,
yeah.
but
Okay. Question number 3. Have you ever peed in a pool as an adult?
oh yes, I did. I did. It happened. Sorry for that.
Okay. Fine. All right. What's your credit score?
Oh, well, it's good. It's good because as an immigrant, I started later. I don't have any debts for like college and stuff.
That
so
sounds like you
it's
need another
almost
piece
A.
of chicken.
No, it's the truth. Yeah, you're just mad.
Okay, yeah. All right. I think it said, what's the exact number of your credit score?
You want to know? I know.
Do you want to know? Do you want to?
I can tell. I don't care.
Okay.
7.64.
That's great. Wow. Okay, I think with that, I have to eat this.
I can do better, though. I'll do better.
Okay, last question. Can you give us your best impression of a dinosaur giving birth for our audience?
I think this is really hard, and this chicken is good. I'm not gonna go on. Woo! Thank you.
It's so tasty. The seasoning is great. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right, you win Truth or Fire. Great job. Fire has not conquered her. Cheers.
Capturing Pacific Northwest romance with an eye for candid intimacy, she may just love the you. Please welcome Marcela Pulido.
Marcella!
What an introduction.
Yeah. Welcome to to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
For those of you who don't know, Marcella and I are great friends, and in the beginning of the show, I remember having this conversation with her about like taking the leap and doing what you love.
I had a feeling that story would come up.
And it's totally coming full circle because, Marcella, you are here because of your amazing skills as a photographer, specifically a wedding and engagement photographer.
Yes.
You've been able to travel the world and capturing some of the most beautiful moments of people's lives. And you do it consistently, and it's amazing work. Let's talk about the start of it. Like, how did this all begin?
Oh my gosh, well that's a long story. Where do I begin? I've been doing photography since I was 16. And I've always like just had this like admiration and just like passion for it, but it wasn't ever anything that I was actually actively discouraged to pursue it because I was told like there's no money in it, there's no future in it. And so I went to school and like I got my degree in psychology because I thought that would be like something that would be more sustainable.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like 4 years ago that I just kind of was just like, you know, like this isn't what I want to do. I wanted to pursue photography, and I just kind of like dove headfirst into it. And so like I'll tell you the story that I told you, because it was just like I'd been going through like a really difficult time. I was unemployed in Portland. I'd been doing photography part-time for like about a year, and it was just like everything that could possibly go wrong all at once did. And I was just really struggling, and it was just kind of like the icing on the cake was that I broke my ankle just as I was like unemployed, right? Trying to find a job, and I was like, well, I can't go to job interviews with a broken ankle.
Yeah.
And I just kind of took that as an opportunity to like really start pursuing photography full time. And I was just like, I remember like being there in the cast, and like I couldn't meet clients face to face, so I was doing like video calls with clients, and I'd like show them my like cast in the ankle, and just to be like, I'll be all set by your wedding, I promise.
Oh no.
But everybody was really awesome about it, and I ended up booking out for like the full year, and I was just like, I guess this is what I'm doing now.
That's absolutely incredible. I would imagine there's a lot of nerves that come up when you make that jump.
So the thing is, like, this is what I wanted to do so badly, and I just don't feel like I would have had the balls to do it otherwise.
Yeah.
It was like I literally had to be pushed into a circumstance where like I had no other option or way out.
Yeah, and that's how long ago did you establish that first year?
That was like a little like 2.5 years ago now. Yeah. And as a friend of yours, you're always out of town. Like, it's really hard to like get you out for a dinner date or something, because you're like, oh no, I'm in Hawaii, it's wedding season, duh. Which it's dying down now. So like I just got back from like the craziest 2 weeks of travel for work, and it was like absolutely amazing. But I'm really excited now for the winter to just be home.
Yeah.
And like enjoying like the Pacific Northwest, like autumn and winter.
Yeah. I think what is truly to be admired is you taking that jump, you know, to do the thing that you truly love. Yeah. And I think what I want to represent with this show is people just like you, and normalizing that, because you bring so much to the table when you do what you truly love.
Yeah. Well, likewise with you in the show. I mean, obviously, like, that's why I come and support you in what you do. And it's just because, like, it shows when you're passionate about something.
Yeah.
You know, when you really give a shit about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's really awesome.
Yeah, and, well, let's turn it back on you.
Okay.
Now I'm blushing. I'm sure there's a lot of technical skills and a lot of, like, putting out fires when you are on set, like, I mean, you don't even work on a set. You're usually out on the beach or like, you know, out in some remote place.
Well, it's funny because, like, that's literally what happened this weekend. Because I was just in Maui, like you mentioned. I shot a wedding there on Friday. And the bride chose this beautiful, like, incredible venue, specifically because there was, like, on one side there was, like, a mountain covered in fog, and on the other side there was just, like, a full view of Maui. And so, like, she set aside an hour and a half to do portraits.
Yeah.
with that landscape, and
Yeah.
it was pouring rain for an hour straight.
Oh no.
And yeah, and like she even made the comment of like, if I knew it was going to be like this, I would have gotten married in Oregon or would have gotten a cheaper venue.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So this is when the psychology degree comes in, right?
Yeah, and it's just like, yes, it comes in handy every so often. But it's just like, I know what to do to get a good portrait, and like I'll do it. And like we created some beautiful like dramatic lighting indoors where we could.
Yeah.
But like as soon as I saw the like rain start to just kind of dwindle down, I was like, all right, grab an umbrella, we're going out there. And it ended up working out beautifully, and we got just like the perfect sunset light, and
Yeah.
it was just awesome.
Yeah, you really create magical
Thank you.
moments, and you hold these magical moments for the rest of these people's lives,
Yeah.
you know, on a very important day for them.
Well, I am constantly just kind of like humbled by the experience, because like these couples bring me into like such a big day of their life and like trust me to capture that moment for them.
Yeah.
And I don't take that for granted.
Yeah. I was on your website earlier, and the way you present it is quite beautiful, and
Thank you.
once again, just completely stunning images. You have even a blog form
Yeah.
where you tell stories and about the scenario. You actually put the picture in its frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I also have a history of like journalism, and I
Yeah.
was always like, I read a lot, I was always a writer. And so it's nice that I can kind of tie both aspects of that together and kind of tell the story of the couple and their wedding day together.
Yeah. For all of my audience who's now like just wondering, they're like, how can I see these images?
Yeah.
How can they find you online?
The easiest way would be Instagram, of course, and it's marcella.jpg. It's marcela.jpg. And from there you can find my website and my email and everything.
Everybody, put your hands together for Marcella. Thank you so much for coming out. Put your hands together for my band, Shy Sean, Sexy Marvin. They grace us with beautiful music all the time, and we're just so fortunate to have extraterrestrials here with us, sharing this moment here in Portland. Also, this show could not be done without our sponsors. I want to give a special thank you to Abbey Creek Winery. Special announcement, I am now working with Abbey Creek Winery, so double dipping. Special shout out to Mad Hippie Skincare, an all-natural approach to skincare. Their motto is health truly comes from within, so they create their products in the same manner, all natural ways of purifying and really healing your skin. So give it up for our sponsors. Also, one more time, give it up for the Live in Portland team. This show could not be done without them. It is my honor to present creative artists, musicians, comedians each and every week as we do this show, and it's such an incredible opportunity. And one more aspect of that is I get to showcase my friends. And up next, we have our segment. It's astrology, it's almanac, it's all the great things. Everybody, put your hands together for Masterpiece with Annalise.
Hi, Portland. Welcome to Masterpiece with Annalise for October 22nd, 2018. I hope you guys got to enjoy the meteor show this weekend. The Orionids peaked on Saturday and Sunday. I saw some really good ones out at Rocky Butte. I hope you guys got to enjoy. There's also a full moon upcoming, so this is a really good time to do your manifestations, really ask the universe for what you need and let it come to you and accept. And speaking of full moons, Uranus is in opposition tomorrow, so it will be a full Uranus, meaning the sun will be illuminating it as brightly as it can from our perspective, and it'll be on its closest approach to Earth in the sky. So if you get a telescope, you guys can check out our fellow blue-green planet in the solar system. Back to Chris at Live in Portland.
Please welcome a soul-soothing musician who teaches at not one but two music academies while still finding time to jam at evening gigs. It's Salvatore Manolo.
Thank you. We're gonna play some tunes now. This is always on my mind. How I never found the time. When to know, I miss the signs. How could I fall so behind? This feeling is so. This feeling is over. This feeling is all I know. I'm feeling it high and low. I must have found it long ago. Do you even have it anymore for me? Is this how we used to smile? Well, 6 years can be a while. When to know that we could have beat the tide, but I chose to sink in hide. This feeling is so. This feeling is over. This feeling is all I know. I'm feeling it high and low. I must have found it long ago. Do you even have it anymore for me? And I know that this is gonna take some time, 'cause even if it burns, I know this love can start a fire. When this feeling is so, this feeling is over. This feeling is all I know. I'm feeling it high and low. I must have found it long ago. Do you even have it anymore for me? This feeling is all I know. I'm feeling it high and low. I must have found it long ago. Do you even have it anymore for me? Thank you. That song is about my dog. This is Jenny Fry on the drums, killing it. We usually have a bass player, but he's at work, so we're making do with what we have, you know. This next song is for my cat. It's called Rain. Hey, I can feel the sun is shining down on me. I've been breathing long enough to know it's real. 'Cause I've been looking for ways to find all my days is clear. Oh, this clear, 'cause I saw the rain. And I've been running. And I felt the pain. And I've been looking for the sky to strike again, for my eyes to dry again. 'Cause when the light is shining in this world we both live in. Is it time for me to help against the wind? I've been listening too close, it must have been a place to shelter my thoughts again. And I just can't begin. Oh, begin again. 'Cause I saw the rain. And I've been running. And I felt the pain. And I've been looking for the sky to strike again, for my eyes to dry again. 'Cause when the light is shining in this world we both live in. Rain, and I've been running, and I felt the pain, and I've been looking for the sky to strike again, for my eyes to dry again. 'Cause when the light is shining in this world we both live in. Thank you all so much. One more. That's all we've ever written. That's all we got. Let's do something sweet. It's from my fish. It's called Always. Always. 1, 2, 3. I've been thinking that I always keep my head towards the ground, and guess I never met it anyway. But since the world just pushes down, and my mama tells me there's a time to decide, will you break down or will you point your head towards the sky? Oh, but I always find that there I look before I cross the other side? Will this be the time when all is going right? And will this candle burning up to keep it bright? Will this be the time when all is going right? Oh, but I always seem to make it through the night. This ain't no ordinary heartbreak. This ain't no gradual decline. I guess I never met it anyway. There ain't no people left behind. And my papa tells me there's a reason to climb. And my papa tells me there's a reason to climb. Oh, but I always find that there is something next in line. Another meaning to define. Another piece of me to find. Well, I look before I cross the other side. Will this be the time when all is going right? And will this candle burning up to keep it bright? Will this be the time when all is going right? Oh, but I always seem to make it through the night. Thank you all so much.
Woo! Salvatore! Feels so good inside. Wow. That was amazing performance. Thank you so much for coming out.
This is awesome.
Let's talk about your music career. Let's get you up to the
That's
microphone.
right. Like mics.
You dropped an EP this year,
Yes.
and that led to a tour.
Small tour, yeah.
Yeah. Tell me how it's been touring all over the nation with your music.
It's been fun. I just went solo, unfortunately, since that's all I could afford at the moment. But it was a good time seeing old friends. It was just an excuse to go on vacation, really. But it's been great. I recently just quit my day job, so it's been all music for me.
Dope.
Yeah, so hey,
You got to tell me about your relationship with your guitar, because I see you on Instagram. I see you all the time just like jamming out, and I love the music you make
Thank
with
you.
that. Tell me a bit about how you started on guitar.
I started in church, like most people do these days, but I didn't sing before until like 4 or 5 years ago. So I really like to play guitar like I sing, so I try to make it a vocal thing.
Yeah,
you know?
complimentary. Yeah,
exactly. So
you've got a show coming up.
yes,
November 2nd.
November 2nd at Mississippi Pizza Pub. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, with Liam. I think he's been on the show. Yeah, definitely.
Liam's an alumni. Yeah.
And Yar Gypsy. Yeah, it's
Awesome.
gonna be a good show.
Awesome. For my audience here and my audience at home, how can they find you on social media?
Since we're on the Instagram train, Instagram's the easiest. It's just Salvatore.Manello. Yeah.
Dope. Everybody put your hands together for Salvatore Manello. This is Live in Portland, episode 34. Like I said before, every week we get to showcase creative artists that represent our city. You know, as our city builds, it's important to create these networks of people coming together to support their creative works, their passions, and it's a lot about where their passion meets their purpose. So with that, I'd like to invite everybody here onto the stage. Everybody just come on out. Come on out. Get on the stage. That's right. Everybody. We're in this together. This is our city. This is our time to represent. This is Live in Portland, episode 34. Oh, we got to get a picture. Can we get a picture? Can we get that? Annalise, can we get the gimbal cam going? Oh, perfect. Everybody, this is a celebration amongst our neighbors. We're turning our neighbors and our friends, and we're getting rid of strangers. We're all here together. We all have this moment to share together. This is episode 34 of Live in Portland, and we are out. Peace!
Thanks for watching. Make sure to check us out online at Facebook.